once again, this is kind of like a prediction video. If you haven't seen my previous one, make sure to do so, link top corner of the screen. So once again, I'm going to be giving my, kind of predictions and thoughts blindly before the actual product comes out regarding the documentary on the Mojave Mystery, the disappearance of Kenny Veach. Now, when I first heard about it, credit to Atari for letting, people know publicly. She has it on her channel. Make sure to check her latest video out. I'll put the link in the description comment section down below. Gives kind of brief details and I think links to watching the documentary and what channel it's on and where it's available and whatnot. But aside from all that, my thoughts, when I first heard about it, the thing that came to my mind was, is this good? Technically, this is good. More coverage. Now, all of a sudden, more coverage than ever. It's actually being recognised publicly and, via media compared to how it was previously. And then the next thing that came to mind very quickly afterwards was, this is bad. This is not good, because how could this be spun? Is it going to be spun in a biased way? Is it going to be done in such a way that it makes the whole theories and ideas which could be valid not believable, and they make it sound very crazy and overdone? Those are kind of thoughts going through my mind, and some of them are still there right now. But one thing I want to add in now is, after Susan, from looking at the comment sections, she said about she's in the documentary, Susan Veach, who's been around in recent time or so and been assisting Atari. It makes the documentary probably better now, in my mind, because if someone like them, after all the stuff they've done behind the scene and all the effort and all the focus and the knowledge she has, then the documentary will probably be more valid and better in a way. Now, it depends how it's all structured, and I'm doing this from a blind point of view. It might be completely different when it's out and available to whoever can watch it, but I've done it with video games, I've done it with a lot of stuff, okay? So I've got this under control. Depending how it's structured, if it's structured, the documentary, in such a way, it's different points of views and it's in different sections, that individual gives their opinion, such as the supposed girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, then Vicky Veach, that's the name of the daughter, gives her opinion, her feelings and her side of the story, what she knew about Kenny, and then it moves on to the next person and the next person. Okay, it's structured. Key note, if these people have been interviewed individually, that's another key point, because if someone like Susan Veach, who I don't know how to quite word it, because you'll be able to check in the comment sections here and there of what she said, her side, what she knows. If I'm just saying it roughly, don't quite get on well. There's negative viewpoints on the Veach family or certain parts of it from Susan's point of view, what she's seen and experienced. I'm sure I'm going to be absolutely criticised for saying this. What do I know? Well, just hold on a second. I'm just relaying from what I've seen, in the comments and stuff publicly. Let's make sure the language is clear and understandable, okay? So, whilst Susan has that viewpoint and what she knows, when if she was interviewed like all the others, was it done individually or were they all together? Do they all know who's involved in the documentary, or is it anonymous? You know what I'm saying? Maybe between the girlfriend, some of the Veach family members, they might all know that they're involved, but do they know that Susan's involved? There is tension or friction, and they know that another individual's coming in with maybe the truth or a more realistic idea. Could it cause tension, or has it been done anonymously? I don't know. Obviously, when the documentary is out, it'll be so much clearer. And right now, Susan will know how it is, because if she's been involved, she's participated, done what she's done, then obviously she's going to know. But there's no point saying anything right now, because it would, ruin the whole documentary, I guess, or ruin parts of it. But it'll be interesting to see, because if we're tying it on with the different points of views and all the different people involved, if we put Susan aside, it gets a bit problematic, because if you've got the supposed girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend, someone that has been, seen as suspicious within the Kenny Veach mystery. I've covered the odd few videos, just doing a little bit of research and doing a few case files and stuff, going quite in depth. If you haven't checked them out, make sure to do so. Link will be in the description and comment section. There's been confusion to whether the ex-girlfriend, the supposed girlfriend, is a girlfriend or just a friend, because if you look back at certain videos, like how I said, check the link, 1 minute it's this, next minute it's that, and then next minute it's this. It's confusing. The actual behaviour by the girlfriend, were they quite passionate in searching for Kenny or not? From what Susan or Atari said, it took 3 days after the disappearance for the supposed girlfriend to actually report Kenny missing or take action whatsoever. And I believe in that number, 3 days after his disappearance, I think that's 3 days after the 3 days he set out for. So he went out for 3 days, and then another 3 days after that, then was reported as missing, because Kenny did say he was going to go out for 3 days. So, there's been a bit of a delay, so why was it not done immediately? So there was suspicion with that. And also, just the way the girlfriend is, like in certain comments and certain words said, sometimes a little bit contradicting at times, kind of like Kenny when he was describing the cave. But another key point, especially with, mental health awareness, the bandwagon, like Me Too movement, like climate change, something like that, that awareness, that campaign, when it becomes popular, when it gains traction and everybody jumps in on it, a lot of fake people, a lot of people using it as a scapegoat method to be excused of their actions and stuff. Oh, I got depression, I've got this, I've got that. Have you really though? Are you just saying that to look good? Are you saying that to gain favour? Are you saying that to gain sympathy? And you've got genuine, real people elsewhere, the quiet ones really suffering. So whilst you've got this awareness scheme and this thing going on, you could really reinforce it nowadays that maybe Kenny did have an illness and there was something wrong with him, and that's why he went out and then committed suicide. So in a day like this, and the way all these awareness things are, you could really push it forwards that, oh, mental health. And if you reinforce it with the ex-girlfriend who is, involved in being a psychologist, or, something to do with being a psychologist, working around it, working with people with illnesses, she could be seen as more credible. And if she puts the point forward, Kenny had an illness, Kenny was suicidal, Kenny went out to maybe kill himself, more people are more likely to believe in that because of the position that individual is in and what they know, compared to like a general person who hasn't studied it, hasn't, got a focus in an area and then just randomly says anything. That individual won't be, listened to as much. So whilst you've got the girlfriend who is in this documentary, because it was shown when on a teaser clip by Atari, that is a bit questionable and a bit interesting, because if she comes in and she words it or creates a story a certain way, people are probably more likely to believe in her because of the position she is in and also the status she was with Kenny at some point. So it could be more believable, and then it could cause more confusion in the mystery, more misdirection, and almost, trying to cover up things. So there is suspicion there. As for the daughter of Kenny Veach, I have no idea with that. I don't really know that, don't really know much, so I'm not really going to go there. Is there anyone else involved in it? I don't know. I wonder if Debbie Veach is in it. We'll have to wait and see. But one thing I will say is, while I was looking at that teaser video, they also touched upon military, Area 51 or something, underground bases and tunnels. And whilst, yes, I've covered that on my channel, like Military Land Takeover, make sure to check that out. Very key video. And you know, also other videos I've done, like the one by exploring abandoned mines and unusual places. Frank, who went out there at an undisclosed location, Area 51 sign found there, buried, a bit weird. Soldier, military guy who wanted to go to that cave, who couldn't at the time. Kind of mystery there, military action, military interest in a certain area. And then, you know, looking at like the aliens and stuff with Ewu crew and the footage there, and then tying it in with Charles Hall, that's his name, who said about working as a weatherman or something at Nellis Air Force Base, and also seeing sightings of alien greys, and you know, within the mountain range, how there's entrances for, you know, UFOs and craft to go in and come out, underground bases. You know, all that stuff I've covered, I mean, could be covered in the documentary. And this is where it becomes a problem. The difference is with my channel, I cover a range of stuff, whether it be the keyhole, whether it be a potential creature, whether it be Kenny living amongst the homeless. I did actually mention that theory in the past, okay? So keep that in there, okay? We might have to revisit that one. But, you know, done the homeless one, and then I've done like, could he have gone out there and then hiked back or returned back to make it like a setup, how it was all planned out and arranged. That's another key thing I mentioned. A range of different ideas and theories, not just all on me, but on other people. Whereas if in this documentary, if it's done in such a way that there's a stronger focus on Area 51, military, underground bases, and it's more pushed towards that, like how they do it with the documentaries of Asian aliens and stuff, and really pushing it with this stuff, it can almost make a mockery of either the mystery itself or the theories what people have come up with over time. It's kind of like a way of mocking people or making it seem so saturated in, you know, lots of conspiracies and lots of really intricate stuff and a lot of people involved. And because it's public and it's worded in such a way, it could be seen as, God, this is laughable, this isn't believable, so less people believe in it. Or more people are likely to sway the other way and then just believe in what Sharon said instead. Kind of like misdirection, directing attention elsewhere. So it could get very problematic and a bit confusing. And, you know, does it discredit all the research done by people up to now and in the past if this documentary comes out? As I said, it might be completely different when the documentary is out, and it might be all right, but, you know, you can't hype things up too much. Things can go wrong, things can be problematic, but I guess it's good that Susan is involved in some way, whichever way, you know. I don't know if anybody else is, maybe there is other people involved. But yeah, just have to wait and see. So did I really make predictions? Yeah, I did make predictions and I gave my thoughts. But, you know, this is the weird thing. I don't know when that insurance payout thing occurs with Kenny. You know, if he's alive, that insurance payout, big payout, when does it happen? Has it happened right now, or is it coming up to it? Because what I'm just thinking of, why now are they making a documentary? You could say to me, Andrew, why last year or the year before, whenever it was, did you suddenly start making the videos on the mystery? Well, it's just simply because I noticed the playlist and then it kind of snowballed effect from there. I really only picked up on a potential sighting finding which I could provide and show. So that's the only reason to why I did it at that point. Sean, well, he did it because he heard about the mystery. He was in the area at the time, and you know, it wasn't too long after Kenny's disappearance, so you know, that's what happened. But why have they done a documentary on the mystery, on Kenny, on the cave? You know, what is it, like 7 years on? Why is it taking this long? Was it in the making all this time, or is it only doable now? And certain family members are participating now and talking publicly now because the warrant on Kenny Veach has expired. You'll have to ask Atari about that. I know Jean did reply recently, and Leanna did as well, about there's no active current warrant on Kenny. Okay. You'll have to ask Atari, because Atari did cover it in the past, okay? A few months ago. And it was by a comment of someone who, made like a long statement and whatnot. And that individual that did talk about the warrant said the warrant is on Kenny Veach, but at a certain point in time, maybe when he said when it gets to the 7th year anniversary or so, a certain date, the warrant expires and the case goes cold, and then the police lose interest and the case is closed. I do remember that individual saying it does expire at a certain point in time. So maybe that is why some people can't locate, the warrant on Kenny, because it's expired. And maybe if we're basing it off that idea, if the warrant has expired or there isn't one on Kenny anymore, the insurance is going to pay out or something in time, then the documentary can be made, people can raise their voice and maybe add more to the mystery, more misdirection, or just simply give their point of view, whether it's true or false, and then maybe Kenny benefits because he's now got the public attention, really, out there, full on attention, the insurance, and the warrant's gone, so no one's got any dirt on him anymore. Is it all pieces to the puzzle? That now is the time to do whatever. What could happen? Well, it all depends, because if I had to give my prediction, I really wouldn't be surprised if at a certain point in time, providing Kenny is alive, and that, based off what some of the key individuals have said, one individual has seen Kenny, active, and Susan's saying how it's been a hoax, Kenny never really went out there into the desert, and he is in hiding or something. And like with Atari saying something about how maybe Ray Veach is assisting Kenny, how there's like a house, in the mountains or something, and maybe that's where Kenny's stopping at. If all this is true, my prediction would be, it wouldn't surprise me if after the documentary, whether it's just after or much later on, at a certain point in time, who replied to me? Oh, I just got a notification then from Nicole. Hey Nicole, that's a bit random. But as I was saying, it wouldn't surprise me if after, maybe much later on, after the documentary, Kenny makes an appearance publicly, providing there's no warrant, there's no arrest, he's not going to get in trouble. I really wouldn't be surprised if he actually appeared, returned, and then made it seem like he was out there in the wilderness. He's been hiking, he got lost, he got stranded, he had to fight his way through and survive. And it was done in such a way that not only did he receive attention in the past and now, and not only did he receive his insurance payout, but now he's been seen as some kind of saviour and God. Not literally, okay? Don't get too triggered. I'm not saying that's going to be the case, but it wouldn't surprise me. That's the prediction I make. You need to understand the language I use, okay? It's not me being cocky or anything. I just need to be very specific because I know individuals don't always listen. And then I'm like this, I'm thinking, come on, focus, okay? It's that simple. I know I'm not doing some kind of anime pose or, situation, but then again, who knows? But you get what I'm saying. When you tie all the things together, it wouldn't be a surprise because Kenny is in a win-win situation then. Public attention, money, and also now regarded and seen as a hero. I know Jay Chuck, at a certain point in time where it probably still is now, how he says he respects Kenny, sees him as a hero, okay? Could be the case, but is he, or would he be regarded as a hero if he returned back and further added to this made-up story that he went out there and he had to survive and fight his way through and eventually made it out alive? Would he be regarded as a hero then? Or literally straight up liar? literally a straight up liar. And what doesn't help is, you know, if we put aside what Susan could say in the documentary, which could put things in place and kick things, if we just put her aside and let's say that isn't included in the documentary, because there is actual evidence of Kenny's scent being out there in the desert, and there is actual evidence of Kenny's personal possessions such as loose change and a phone being at the mine shaft, and there's evidence of Kenny's vehicle parked up in the desert, and because of the trail it follows, that evidence points and proves that Kenny was out there. Although some of us may know he wasn't, publicly in the eyes and with the evidence presented, he was out there. That's what the problem is. There is evidence for Kenny to come back and say, yes, I was out there and I did struggle and I did get in danger, but I made it out. And if anyone tried questioning and saying, yeah, but did you? You were hiding. You were in a house. You were being assisted by people. You were, you know, under the radar for all this time for certain reasons. He could say, where's your proof then? So unless people have got solid evidence, okay, what can you do? Depending what evidence Sean has. I'll probably be criticised again, but it's okay saying you've seen Kenny, but if you haven't got actual, you know, recordings, footage of Kenny, you can't really use it as evidence. You can't. And depending what Atari has in her research and stuff, and Susan, if that was limited, I'm saying that because I don't know what they know, okay? Blind perspective, remember. If what they have is limited, you know, you can't really prove it unless they do have something. And if they do have something, well, that's good. If it's mentioned in the documentary, that's good as well. But then we move on to the next problem, linking back to the conflict. If there is some kind of conflict, tension, friction within the family, externally, internally, in some way, if they all connect, well, not quite connect, but they're all involved in that documentary and they're all aware of who is in it and who isn't, then could it, you know, could it get messy? Could it get to the point where it becomes more one-sided in a sense? Could it be twisted, the story? Could it be twisted in a way that the girlfriend who is close to Kenny and the daughter who is close to Kenny, they could word it and say things like, this is what happened, what Susan is saying is incorrect or wrong, and then Susan could be telling the truth, but because there might be people who might be a bit more closer to Kenny in a way, or knew Kenny better, you know, could it be in that way? And then general public opinion, people outside of the mystery will lean more to the right rather than the left, believe in the wrong people rather than the right people, correct people. So, as said, blind point of view and perspective. You could say, what's the point doing this? Why not do it after the video is done? Oh yeah, but doesn't harm making this video now. Simply doesn't. As I said, could be this, could be that. But I still think that last point I made, the prediction that Kenny could return, is a valid one and could be said at any point in time. And I'd rather say it earlier, because if it's wrong, it's wrong. But if it's right, and one didn't have much material to work off from, you know what I'm saying? It's happened to an extent with video games, like Gears of War. I predicted Gears of War RPG ruins the pace, the flow. It's not weighted, it's not impactful. There's no like bloody massacre or tunnel vision. It's not, you know, atmospheric or dark, horror, gritty. That's all missing. It's colourful, sparkly. Oh, look at me. I'm an RPG. Wow. I looked at a trailer gameplay, 5 seconds 5 seconds and I knew how the game would be. And then on release, it's exactly how I said it. And other people came along and said, damn, you're right. So with such limited material and being able to see it early, it can be helpful. In this case, is it helpful? The latter part about predicting the potential chance that Kenny could turn up, yeah. As I said, there's only so much you can work off from. And, you know, I really wouldn't be surprised if there is tension and friction because of making this video, but oh well, screw it. Might as well just make it now. Tari did a video herself. I did this video and, you know, I'll just pass it on as well. You know, people want to hear about it or see the links to the video at least, or to know when it's on, when it's available. At least this video did, you know, direct people in the correct direction. So at the end of the day, still use this video. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to show any footage just in case there was any copyright. You know how that can be at times. It can get very messy. So you just gotta be careful. So yeah, I think that basically sums it up. Is there anything else left to say? No. As for mystery related videos, I still have 2 more to release. They're more behind the scenes. So just like giving my opinion on like one difficult video made and then another video on how I've created or edited certain videos. So, you know, behind the scenes, might as well give it a little go and see what you think of that. And then we'll see where we are from there on. As I said, got a bit of content and stuff to offload from my device, might as well do it. And yeah, any final thoughts on the documentary? Well, from what I can remember, I think it's the 28th of November it comes out. I don't think everyone will be able to watch it because I think you've got to be in the US, maybe in a certain state, Nevada, Las Vegas. So, you know, it could be restrictive, but I'm sure there'll be a way around it somehow, or someone might cover it. I think Atari said she might work around it. We'll just see. But, you know, in another way of looking at it, it's probably worthwhile doing this video, doing that little prediction, thoughts before it comes out, because other people do it. Plus, if the documentary wasn't as reachable immediately, it might take even longer to wait for it. So there's no harm making this video now. So yeah, does make me think, is there anybody else involved in that documentary we don't know of? You know what I'm saying? There could be a few surprises within it. And no, I don't mean me. they're not gonna ask me. You know, when it comes to many things, I am the black sheep. A bit ironic that, considering I'm white and I've got a white top on. Figure that out. But yeah, realistically, when it comes to life, I am the black sheep in life. It's just the way it is. My reality, way certain things are. That's just being realistic. But sometimes works out, most of the time it doesn't. But aside from that, screw it. Is there any more predictions I would like to make? I mean, from looking at the footage, you know, they showed a little teaser trailer or whatever it may be. Whoever that actor is, it's not going to be Kenny. It's not going to be Kenny within the documentary. But I think the format, the way it seems to be, is like all the other type of documentaries and stuff where someone will be narrating and then it will suddenly cut to a scene of someone in a room being interviewed, one of the family members or someone tied to Kenny, give their thoughts, and then in between they'll cut back and forth to recreations, like a recreational scene, reenacting, because it showed someone with the, you know, hiking hat, similar clothing from behind. Obviously they're not really going to show the face because it's an actor, but you know, it does make me think though. And I hope people are still watching this right now, because I've just thought of something, okay? When was this documentary filmed? I don't know. It says it's being aired on the 28th, aired. So, you know, it's already been, you know, in production and stuff, created. But when was it actually done? Because I want to see, does it date back? Does it actually link? Providing there is actual footage of the Mojave Desert and even the same location, you know, if they're doing reenactments and they're recreating the scenes, was there a camera crew and like an actor out in that area at a certain point in time when recording it? Did any hikers see anyone out there at the time when recording the documentary? Does anyone know about that? I think that's a very key point, because it makes you think, was anything done in between which led to the mine shaft being altered with, the covered cave with the heavy rock being moved and then dropped onto the floor? Maybe the sword in tent. Have things been put in place? The crystal skull. Maybe that's pushing it because that's from 2017. Exclude that one. But the mine shaft is valid. That was in most recent time. And even more recent time, it was further damaged when Jeff Clark recently went back to it. And even with the covered cave, recent time, the way it was on the floor. Did that camera crew, that crew of individuals making a documentary, providing they did like a reenactment? I mean, there was only a small snippet of footage from the teaser trailer, but it looked like someone was within the desert itself, the correct place for it to be, you know, more realistic. I wonder if that links with certain, you know, changes to the environment. Did they try and add more to it than what was? Did they get involved? I think this is, you know, a very valid question, to say the least, because, you know, they're reenacting and recreating everything. Maybe they might add more to it than what originally was. And, you know, because there's no cameras out there, where it being quite remote, maybe they might have changed stuff or added to it. So then when they do show the footage or whatever, they might think, oh yeah, that was there. Did the camera crew, did the reenactment crew go past the mine shaft? Did they go past the covered cave? Did they follow the same exact hike route? There's many, many questions, okay? And I think they're all quite important at the end of the day. As I said, it might be all cleared up once the documentary is out, but at this moment in time, upon waiting, I most likely won't be able to watch it. Not an issue, because there'll be ways around it, or something will give eventually. I'm sure that it'll be very interesting on the GLP forum, Godlike Productions. That's going to be interesting when they hear about it, you know, the opinions they have and what they might find or know of. It's, you know, I'm just trying to think, when was this documentary talked about? I'm just trying to think, because when I made the video I did, like recording it, I'm sure I did it a day before Atari released hers. I might be wrong. I know I released it a day after I recorded it. I definitely did that. I'm just wondering, when I recorded it and I was saying about how, you know, my last video I did, what will go down before the end of this year? Is something going to happen? And then what do you know? The documentary is released or announced. Bit coincidental, isn't it? That's providing it was done before Atari, you know, made note of it, because I've only heard about it now. I did type in Mojave Mystery, and it didn't come up with anything. No, it came up with something else, but it had nothing to do with Kenny Veach. I'm just trying to think, because I saw comment section in the past. What someone did was, they left a comment and were saying how, oh, this has already been covered. What was it, 2017, 2018? In, what was it called? The Disappearance? I think that was the name of the series. And they said that, oh yeah, in that series, one of the episodes, one of the seasons, they covered the mystery of Kenny Veach and stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then when I tried looking for it and, you know, scrolling through the different seasons and whatnot, I couldn't find it. So I don't know what that is all about, whether it's a load of bullshit or there's truth behind it. But if it's already been covered, it makes you think, that's kind of interesting. Is there any other just like random, maybe not so related notes? There is one more thing. You know, I could have made a separate video, but really there wouldn't be any point because it would be literally like 30 seconds. So I might as well just mention it now, providing you are still watching, hopefully. What I did do was I did email the email address of the individual who owned or was involved in the Mystery M-Cave Clue crew. Now, although their email is no longer on the website, because Atari had a screenshot of what the website originally was, and the individual being called Ollie or something, and their email address being publicly viewable, I just sent a brief email saying, hi, interested in the mystery. Have you found anything with your recent expedition or whatever? Feel free to let me know. Thank you. Sent them an email. No reply. Why no reply? For someone to be so, you know, involved in the mystery and to put so much time in making a website and putting it all together and all this information and documents of all the findings and research, but done in such a way that it's delayed and done many years on or many months on, and you think, well, this isn't anything new, and yet there's still put all that time in to make it all, and what? They don't want to communicate now. You know what I'm saying? They seem so passionate, well, pushing it, but they seem very involved and focused, and they want to get out there, they want to be involved. And then you ask them, and then they're like, no reply. Kind of weird. A little bit suspicious. Is it because of making the videos, people have packed their bags and ran away? I don't know. I'm just trying to think. Is the website inactive now? I have to try and think about that, because I think the actual website which looks at activity levels wasn't working at the time, and I think I did mention that in the comment section, okay? So it's probably still active and running, the website, but still, location, change of location. Why have you changed your location now to what it originally was? Are you hiding something, trying to cover something up? And also, like other changes such as Canada, why is it originally based in Canada or something? What's the reason behind that? You know, secretive, shifty behaviour, not cooperative, not great in communication, breakdown in communication, and we've seen it with other people as well. And you think, once again, this is what I mean. I've talked about, I've displayed and, you know, explained the patterns, the crossovers, certain characteristics, certain traits, certain links, certain reasons to why people are drawn to the mystery and people who are involved, the spiritual part and all the other stuff. Many crossovers there. But I think there's also many crossovers on the complete other side with the complete opposite type of people, the dodgy ones. And it tends to be secretive, some kind of anonymity. Hopefully I said that word correct. Breakdown in communication, drip feeding information in a sense, holding on to more information than the amount they're giving out. Supposedly not knowing much, yet they do seem to know quite a bit. And then other people supposedly acting like they know it all or they know a lot, and then they're being discredited by a family member or family related member. And you think, God, what are you supposed to believe in? So you got all these crossovers in dodgy behaviour and dodgy people. And, you know, you can say, oh, you know, you can come out with all typical, you know, regurgitated life quotes, whatever, blah, 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 internet quotes. Oh, it's no surprise. Oh, it attracts dodgy people. Put that aside. This mystery specifically, individually, has some of the weirdest behaviour compared to all the other mysteries out there. That is definitely a fact. Because I have looked at other mysteries and seen the forums and stuff, and majority of the time, the majority of people involved in the mystery, other mysteries, tend to be all on the same page, or at least all actively working in solving it, rather than covering it up or adding more misdirection, more confusion. You know what I'm saying? Different with the Kenny Veach case. But as I said, it goes one of two ways. With all this confusion, redirecting and adding to the mystery in a not so genuine way for certain other reasons and people with certain motives, I guess. It goes off one or two ways. And I said it before, I'll say it again, might as well be consistent, might as well be repetitive to highlight the importance of and the significance of. Is either there's resistance because we're heading in the correct direction and they're getting a bit too worried, getting their pants in a twist because they don't want the truth being revealed. So they'll do whatever it takes to cover it up or to push people away. That's one way of looking at it. Another way of it, resistance, kind of like with the truth again, you talk about the truth and they don't like it. And depending on what you touch upon, even if someone isn't really involved or aiding in the mystery, they might just see it as a trigger to come along and then cause trouble, cause unnecessary attention for their own needs, not for the mystery in solving and not for the people who are in on it. It's like a lone individual motive. You get what I'm saying? So yeah. And as I said, the only good thing you could say, it's not really a good thing, is, okay, you get all these dodgy people, it's online. You're seeing people for what they truly are. Even if they might be anonymous and they're not truly revealing their actual identity, whoever they are at least showing their, I guess, to an extent, their intent, their true self, what they can be like when they're cornered, what they can be like when they are on the defensive and people are coming at them with the truth. Whereas face to face, yes, visually might be easier to see if you're good at reading body language, facial language. But face to face, what you must understand, people can act cowardly, can fake it, mask it. Because when you're online, you can be whatever, whoever, whenever. But when it's face to face, you might have a 6'3", 6'4", 6'2", well-built individual standing face to face with some cancer. That cancer isn't going to be shown. It's a fact. Because they're probably too afraid in the situation to show that. They haven't got the power or the correct situation to be able to demonstrate it. So they might act nice. They might appear good and friendly. I've experienced it all, believe me. So I've got an idea, okay? And certain experiences and encounters and, certain, I don't have to go into it too much, but adaptation and seeing certain behaviour, fuck me. I'm sure it can apply in this mystery too. So, yeah. I wonder, speaking of like emails, I wonder if really Robin is active, is around. I don't know. Maybe he is. Does he know about the documentary? Is he involved? Considering where he lives, maybe. Who knows? I did, send the odd email to Robin. He's not replied. No surprise, but yeah, is what it is. As for Sean, talking about Robin setting him up, that's still kind of, interesting and kind of a mystery. All I'll say is, and I'll just mention it briefly because it'll probably cause tension again. The only issue is, back then when Sean said Robin set him up, you'd think, oh, maybe there was kind of an encounter or a near miss, a close call, physically psychologically in a way. Something actually happened. But from the words of what Sean said in recent time, Robin contacted him saying, "Oh, I want to meet up with you. I want to meet with you face to face, and then I can tell you what happened." You can say it's dodgy, but you can't really say that is a setup, because where is the evidence to prove there was a setup if it didn't even begin or take place to start with? You know what I'm saying? Unless a phone call took place, Sean arrived at the location, wherever, and was behind a wall or in a car or something hiding, and overheard the conversation of Robin or guy saying, "Right, is he here yet? Is Sean here? Right, get ready to grab him." And you recorded that, or you just witnessed it, experienced it, that would make more sense. A setup, intervention. Kind of like how that biker guy turned up at Sean's and said, "Can you help me?" That's an example of a potential setup, yes. But in Robin's case, just wanting to meet up and say, "Hey, I found out about this, I know about that, I'm going to tell you." Is that really a setup? Or maybe it's just Robin supposedly believing too much in something which isn't the truth, but he believes in it so much that he wants to share that. So he's kind of innocent. You know what I'm saying? I'll look at it from that perspective. He did want to meet up, Robin, with Jeff Clark. Jeff Clark never said it was a setup. In his experience, he just said it was a bit weird. So are people looking a bit too much into it with little full-on evidence? You know what I'm saying? Might not be the case, but it just seems like that. I thought there was a bit more to it. But, you know, you could still argue Robin might have been some kind of detective or working behind the scenes, share his ideas, and then trigger, you know, maybe one of the intents was Robin believes in something so much, which may not be true, but it might trigger a response from people to come back and say, "Hey, no, this is what happened. I know about it. This happened, and then it led to that, and then it led to this. Oh, I shouldn't have said all that." And then Robin's noting it all down, whatever, recording it. And then case closed, boom, you got what you wanted. That's how people can operate at times. So, yeah. Lot mentioned again. I don't know if this should be a live video or not. It could well be a live video, but it's good with the chat, but maybe not everyone leaves comments, because they've already left comments in the live video premiere, if you get me. And then maybe not everyone will see the comments of the previous people that were watching it at the time of when the video was live, when premiering. So it might be best not to have it live in this case, so then people can leave all the comments down below and then it remains there publicly and then everyone can see it all in one go. I think that's what I'll probably do, yeah. You know, this video, a bit too long, but I just wanted to add these extra points in, like with the email and figuring this out and figuring that out, and the extended prediction about Kenny appearing, because it all ties in and it's all relevant. So I thought just add it all into one video for a change instead of, you know, doing it bit by bit. I mean, just randomly, this is the difference between me and Atari. Yeah, maybe Atari much more research or a bit more deeper with certain stuff. Okay, fair enough. Atari doesn't make as many videos and isn't as frequent, partly because simply busy and things going on. Fine, fair enough. But, you know, she does it in bulk. That's one of the key things. She does it in bulk. She gathers many things together, and it's quite fitting and it makes sense because quite a lot of what she finds all has symbolisms, connections and links. So if it all ties with one another, you might as well do it all in one video, mash it together and then release it. The style I go for, simply because it's what I know of at the time, what I've been given at the time, or what I've seen at the time, I release it as soon as possible. Why? Well, just in case anything happens, might as well be prepared. And also, just in case anything gets taken down. We have seen it before, like with Accord Research, Cave M, the video being privatised. Why was that the case? Why all of a sudden? You know what I mean? After I covered it in a public video. Are they hiding somewhere? And also Kenny's comment, his last known comment, I believe, his most important, most popular, most liked comment on Son of an Area 51 Technician Worker. Over 500 likes on that comment, and yet it got deleted, it got removed. Who did it? Why did they do it? Are they trying to cover something up, hide something? You know what I'm saying? So that's why certain things need to be done as soon as possible. Unless you're dealing with Jay Silverheels, you got to move at the speed of light. You got to be as quick as Muhammad Ali, fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Did I say that correct? I hope I did. So, yeah, I think that's basically it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.